Hello from me, Lazarus. Welcome to the next lesson in the course on creating a website from scratch. We are currently working on my second book on HTML, CSS and creating a website from scratch. Let's open the page. And right now we're working on part 2 CSS. These are the chapters that are not available for free download. We're currently on chapter 10 of the site. New properties and functionalities in CSS3. I have deliberately written CSS3 here separately, for better clarity, but in principle it is written together. Let's open the PDF file. The second point of this chapter is new features in the border property. In the first sub-item we will look at a very useful property, rounded or rounded corners with the border radius property. And this is one of the most useful properties that were introduced in CSS3. Border radius is a property that gives a long-awaited ability for designers to round the corners of blocks. Before I told you this was getting very difficult. With images, they were superimposed. It was complicated. Now this feature is just a pleasure to work with. And I covered it in chapter March 3, 25, so I won't go into too much detail about it now. I'll just show a diagram and an example of it. And the rounding of a corner can be specified by one or two values of radius, defining its shape. With one value the radius is in the shape of a circle, and with two values, separated by a slash, it is in the shape of an ellipse. Here in this diagram I have shown the two options. Here is the first one. This is if we set, for example, border radius 20 pixels. And in the second case we set 30 and 80 pixels, and you see, it takes the shape of an ellipse. The border radius property is a shorthand for setting the radius of the four corners of the border. Alternatively, the radius of each corner can be set separately. Here's an example we'll look at with 3 paragraphs, each with different values for this property. The code will be as follows. By the way, let me show the example in the browser, and also how the Notepad++ code looks. Here's the code. Here we set padding, border and background colors, height. And you see, for the first one we have a border radius of 30 px, for the second one, we keep 30 px and set it to 80 px. And the last option is without a border. That is, the second and third are almost the same, the only difference is in the borders. And let's see what this one will look like code in the browser. Here it is in the first case, here it is in the second, and here it is without a frame. That's all for this tutorial. Best regards.